Connecticut basketball history will be made tonight inside Gamble Pavilion, as Kevin Ollie will lead the Huskies onto the floor for his first home game as head coach of his alma mater. Against O'Day, former high school teammates down the road at Smith High School. And Boatwright comes up with it, so the Huskies in white go to work first.
Now Connecticut's backcourt, the three-guard lineup that they use, Calhoun, explosive, Boatwright, and Napier, they can really get it done.
And O'Day gets called for the foul, pushing Olander. Our officials tonight, Gene Steratore, James Breeding, and Steve McJunkins.
This is a real game from Vermont's point of view. It's a real tempo game. They want a half-court style game, played in the 50s or 60s. John Becker said, hey, we don't want a track meet. And for Connecticut, they want to try to push the pace and get their quickness out there in the open court.
Daniels short on the first attempt, but able to get his own rebound, and he draws the whistle from Steve McJunkins. The call goes against Luke Apfel and sends Daniels to the line.
Now the other thing too, talking with John Becker before the game, he knows to control tempo, Vermont's got to do a good job on the backboards. You've got to rebound and control the ball. Connecticut, so athletic and quick, they can really hurt Vermont in this ball game with second and third chances off the offensive glass.
Daniels, an 80% free throw shooter in his freshman year, hits the first. They can't hit the second. Vokel comes up with the rebound. This is Carissimo being guarded by Boatwright.
Connecticut man-to-man. That's their trademark. Very quick, a lot of pressure on the ball. They will not make it easy for Vermont to be patient in this one.
O'Day can't put the tip in, back in. Now Olander over O'Day, and he hits.
Now Olander, just solid, the forward slot, the left-hander. If he can make that 10 to 15-foot jumper, really will stretch the defense here tonight.
This is Camden Rusin down to Vokel at the block. Loses control of it. Gets it back. Throws it away. Calhoun comes up with the steal. Quickly ahead to Daniels. Thought about it. Pulls up and hits. I know it's just 2 games, but he looks much more assertive this year as a sophomore than he did as a freshman.
He looked comfortable on that one, didn't he? And in the first game, Kevin Ollie really went with an 8-man rotation. It'll be interesting in this ball game. You know, I think these guys feel like, hey, we're going to play a lot of minutes, and they know they're, going to be out there. If they make, a mistake or two, they know they're going to have to get the job done. Good quick hands there by Connecticut.
10 to shoot for the Catamounts. Carissimo pulls up. O'Day working hard but short. Gets it back, now stripped. Another Vermont turnover. Olander loses control and the Catamounts get it back.
Got to have your hands ready with these quick guards. That ball could be coming at any time.
And Vokel with the ball fake draws the whistle.
Oh, he threw that in. Vokel is that steady guy. He's strong, he's a veteran. Starting lineup, all juniors for Vermont. And the big thing on the road like this, especially going up against a Big East power like this, is to keep your poise early. They don't look, rattled to me, but they have turned it over a couple of times. They've got to be patient and get good looks.
And O'Day puts Vermont on the board.
It's a really good offensive set right there for the Catamounts. Ran their pattern, and they got a nice look, dropping back to a matchup zone. Now it looks man-to-man.
Olander had 4 assists against Michigan State, but Daniels can't bring that one in. Knocked out of bounds by Vokel. It'll stay Connecticut ball with 9 on the shot clock.
Really nice defensive set that time. John Becker's club man-to-man, but they were really sagging into the lane. They just don't want to allow UConn to penetrate to the basket easily. You can see the America East Championship a year ago. first round victory in the NCAA tournament for Vermont. Outstanding season.
Boatwright hits the fadeaway. Makes it 7-2. Carissimo now with a step. Carissimo penetrates. Woosen is the shooter. Now Apfel goes baseline. Rejected by Olander.
Really nice help out. That's the thing with UConn. They'll put pressure on the perimeter, knowing that they've got the quickness to block shots inside. They had 9 blocks in the first game against Michigan State.
Daniels on the drive, all the way to the hoop. Rolls out. Apfel with the rebound. Long pass ahead to Rusin. Looking for O'Day. He can't bring it in, and he's the last to touch it.
Really want to make that entry pass from the wing or corner, not from up top where the defender can get a hand on it and your offensive player doesn't have a good angle. Kevin Ollie is pretty comfortable over there at the helm for UConn, doesn't he?
Vermont makes a couple of substitutions. Clancy Rugg, number 31, and Trey Blue, number 4, onto the floor for the Catamounts. This is Rugg on the ball. Olander spins. Too strong. Rugg with the rebound.
Better job by Vermont last couple of trips to block out and get that defensive rebound.
Rugg off the bench firing, too strong. Carissimo runs it down. New shot clock for Vermont.
Carissimo hit the game winner in that first one, the 1-point victory for Vermont over Siena. Good with the ball. He'll have to be good with it here tonight.
Vokel lost it, but last touch by Connecticut.
Connecticut with the early lead, 7-2 here against Vermont. In Boatwright getting it done from the backcourt spot.
Welcome back to Gamble. Connecticut up by 5 in Kevin Ollie's home debut. And one of the reasons, Ron, why there were not the usual expectations for Connecticut were some of the early departures from last year's roster.
Well, no question about it. You lose Lamb and Drummond, first-round draft picks in the NBA draft, and then the transfers with Oriaki and Smith. So, you know, you'll lose some real power there. But Kevin Ollie's got this team going. They win their first game, and all of a sudden, Napier and Boatwright, Calhoun, other guys will get opportunities, and they seem to want that early this year.
Vokel out of the timeout, hits. It's a 3-point game.
Nice job by Vermont. You know, UConn opens up quickly. Vermont's on the road, and now they've got themselves right in the ball game.
Calhoun can't hit. Josh Elbaum onto the floor with a rebound. Now this is Rugg. This is Blue. Over to Elbaum.
That's what we expect from Vermont. See if they can get the defensive rebound and bring it down. Shot clock down to 10. Work the clock. Nice job offensively.
Rugg off the window. Good entry pass from Vokel. That's why Vokel, the most outstanding player of the America East tournament, without putting up great numbers scoring-wise, he does a little bit of everything.
Yeah, he's just very solid rebounder, solid passing the ball. You can tell he's like a coach on the floor for Vermont.
Daniels goes up and under, rejected by O'Day. He'll stay with Connecticut. So number 16, R.J. Evans onto the floor for Connecticut, a graduate student out of Holy Cross, and the freshman Brendan Kilpatrick out there for Vermont. Apfel back on as well for Coach Becker. 5 to shoot for the Huskies. In trouble. Blue comes up with the steal. Blue with the ball fake. Boatwright thought it was clean. So now Blue goes to the line with a chance to give Vermont the early lead here on the road.
4, free blue, 2 foul shots.
Blue can't hit. So now Kevin Ollie gives Boatwright a rest and sends out Niels Gaffey. And we are tied.
I think the big thing in this game, though, for Connecticut is to be patient, look for the good shot, and they will look to have some spurts in this game where they can get some pressure and put some points up on the board in bunches.
Olander, the strong offensive rebound, kicks it out to Napier. Napier has been quiet, but he finds Olander on the cut. Rejected by Kilpatrick. It'll be Vermont ball, knocked out of bounds by Napier.
Really nice penetration that last time by Napier. Kevin Ollie, I think he'd like to see Olander pull up into the lane and take that, that 7-8 footer rather than force the issue. That could have been an offensive foul that time.
Well, here's Elbaum penetrating, the kick out to Blue. Now back to Apfel, the long two. Too strong, Gaffey with the rebound. Olander backing in to the lefty hook, just short, still loose. Daniels over the top.
Nice job of blocking out that time by Vermont. Great look by Olander. It just sat up on the rim, but Vermont somewhat undersized in the paint, doing a good job. They know they've got to block out.
So obviously a different start here at home for the Huskies than in Germany against Michigan State when they came out on fire. But Napier comes up with the turnover, up ahead to Evans. Evans all the way to the hoop, off the window and in.
Well, R.J. Evans, that fifth-year ball player for UConn, played at Holy Cross and really looked good on that. He's very good taking it to the goal. Strong kid.
Kilpatrick open for three. He can't hit. Still loose. Blue runs it down. He'll take the three. Bullseye. Vermont on the road with an early 1-point lead.
Yeah, Blue doing a nice job. The senior guard off the bench, playing with a lot of poise out there for Vermont right now.
Olander with the spin, didn't want it. Evans, another nice drive.
Now, nice job by Evans off the bench. I think Olander surprised himself. He was so open when he spun to the basket. Dished that one off. You'd like to see the big fella take that one.
Rugg not ready for it. Daniels will finish.
Capitalizing on the turnover right there. Big time finish by Daniels.
John Becker takes the timeout after the miscommunication on offense.
Yeah, you've just got to have your hands ready. That was kind of a surprise chest pass that close to each other, but Daniels takes advantage. He's long, he's athletic, and Daniels is another guy you feel this year really could come into his own. He looks good in the early going.
Vermont already with 5 turnovers. Last year, he made the trip all the way out from California to go to Connecticut, first year of college ball. His sister, who came out here with him, was sick. Thankfully, she's feeling much better now. But he said he never really got his sea legs. He kind of felt like a robot, he said, all year, and now playing with some more confidence.
Yeah, you got to get into that comfort zone, and there's so much change taking place the first year. He's traveling. You're all of a sudden playing major Division I basketball. You've got some issues going on. You're adjusting to school. He looks so much more comfortable a year later.
So now Carissimo brings it up, along with Rugg, Rusin, Apfel, and Kilpatrick. Rusin open in the corner. Too strong air ball. Apfel gets it, and he gets fouled by Evans. So there's a break in the action. When we return to Gamble, we'll take a closer look at the new kid on the block for the Huskies. Omar Calhoun looking to continue that New York tradition in stores. Get up up by 3, and Ron, we discussed the departures. How about the big newcomer out of New York City, Omar Calhoun?
Major talent. I look for him to really do some nice things for UConn this year. He averaged 25 plus a game for Christ the King a year ago. New York State Player of the Year. Over 1,700 points his career. I mean, he's just a dynamite player. He's got great ability shooting the basketball, very athletic. I see him with a lot of minutes in the 3-guard lineup this year with Napier and Boatwright being very effective.
The all-time leading scorer at Christ the King High School in Queens. Talk about that tradition of New York guards coming up here to play. Talik Brown, Kemba Walker. As Apfeld hits the first. I'll slip Ben Gordon in there, even though I know technically Mount Vernon's in Westchester, not New York City, but he played like a New York City guard, that's for sure.
Well, I was just thinking about the final year Kemba Walker had here, how he came on. You know, there was a question, I think UConn finished 9-9 in the Big East standings that year, and they wanted to win it all. And he went on a roll like one of the best rolls I've ever seen.
Connecticut with a 13-12 lead here as we approach the 11-minute mark in the first half. Here's Gaffai. That's off, fight for the rebound. Carissimo rips it away from Philip Nolan. Freshman out of Milwaukee who's checked in, along with Leon Tolksdorf out of Germany. So here's Vokel.
Yeah, Nolan will get that one. He's got to add a little bit of strength to the frame. He's tall and lean. Good ups inside. Man-to-man by Connecticut. Good patience by Vermont.
Hand check call there on Tolksdorf. Kevin Ollie not happy with the whistle from Gene Steratore. So actually he gives the foul to R.J. Evans, so Evans will check out. Calhoun back out there. 10:31 to play. Vermont down by 1 with the ball, chance to regain the lead.
Connecticut tends to feed so much off their defense. They held Michigan State to 37% shooting in that first half. First game, I should say. They're always among the nation's leaders defensively. That's really where they've got to bear down in this game.
Good closeout defense on Rusin, and then he came to grab it, but he was still out of bounds when he touched the ball, so the Huskies take over. There's Boatwright. Five drives. Boatwright resets the offense with 15 on the shot clock. Crossover. Now Tolksdorf. Fly with the rebound.
Good job by Connecticut, giving themselves that second opportunity. With long-range shots, you tend to get longer rebounds. Vermont actually did a pretty good job blocking out, but that ball went right over their heads that time. Nice pass.
Nice two-man game to Nolan. He hits off the glass. He's in the score column.
Carissimo doing a nice job at point for Vermont, keeping the Catamounts sort of in their patterns. They're taking time off the clock each time. Key for them is to get a good shot each time down the floor.
Like a bull, Vokel went in there.
It really did. Well, that last time as Vermont jumps out defensively, and Boatwright with a beautiful pass inside to Philip Nolan with the finish. Up and under. Boatwright very good with the basketball, and they're going to give other teams fits this year between Napier and Boatwright and the developing Omar Calhoun in the backcourt for UConn.
So Trey Blue checks back onto the floor from Coach Becker. You know, earlier you mentioned that Vokel's like a coach on the floor, and that's only natural. His father, a great player, Ray, at America, but also a very successful high school coach in New York City at collegiate. He's been taught the game since he was in the crib.
Fundamentally sound. You tend to find that with Coach's son, and when it's in your genes that way, and he definitely knows where he is out there. He also hasn't been missing his time in the weight room. He's a strong kid, right?
He is solid. Calhoun drills the three.
Such a confidence boost when you can get that first long-range shot to go, and let's see if Calhoun now kind of feeds off of that.
He scored just 1 point against Michigan State after looking impressive in the 2 exhibition games. Carissimo can't finish the drive. Nolan with the rebound. Here's Gaffai. Boatwright, the pull-up. Off the glass, did he call it? And even he's smiling about that one. Connecticut now up by 7. Here's Blue. Now Carissimo gets it to his high school teammate out of Iona Prep, Vokel. Under 10 to shoot now for the Catamounts. Carissimo gets rejected by Nolan, but there's a whistle. The Huskies open up a 7-point lead, and when we return to Gamble, we'll talk to the Hall of Famer, Jim Calhoun. Welcome back to Gamble. Connecticut up by 7. You take a look at the Huskies' Ring of Honor. Obviously, no surprise that Jim Calhoun is up there, and he is sitting by with Ron Perry as Jim's getting used to a new seat here at Gamble.
Well, Jim, I'll tell you what, how does it feel to be sitting here? You look kind of relaxed taking this game in, are you?
Well, I can't get at the officials. That's the good thing with this bar. But no, I'm really enjoying watching Kevin, the team. I recruited all these kids that came here, Kevin and I, and the whole staff did. So it's a whole different kind of feeling. But after going to Germany with this team, seeing 13 practices, a couple exhibition games, I'm here really as a very invested fan.
How is the transition going for you, though? Do you feel good?
I've got a lot of things. Today I was at the hospital in a meeting, which we're doing a lot of expansion out there. We've got the new enhancement center here, practice facility. So I've got a whole bunch of different kind of things, and obviously this is still kind of still where I belong to some degree. My heart belongs here for at least a couple hours a day.
That's great. And how about the coaching job by Kevin Ollie? You must be proud to see one of your proteges at the bench and taking charge of the team right now.
He's doing a wonderful job. And the big thing about Michigan State, people said they won. I said, no, they were prepared to win. And that's a big difference. They came out ready to win the basketball game.
Well, it's great to see you, Jim. I hope you enjoy the season and, kind of this transition that's underway. And I hope also that you feel well.
I feel great, and I am enjoying watching my guys play, yeah.
All right, Jim. Thanks. Great to visit with you.
Thank you, Ron.
All right, back to you, Eamon.
All right, Ron, great to see Jim Calhoun here watching his club. And we will hear from Kevin Ollie at halftime talking about the influence Jim Calhoun's had on his career and still has on his career as Gaffai hits the righty hook. And get back up by 7. Here's O'Day. Now Elbaum, under 7 to play here in the first half. Vokel under 10 to shoot for Vermont. And that's an illegal screen being called on Elbaum, the junior out of Roxbury, Massachusetts.
First personal, third team foul.
So it's the 3rd team foul against Coach Becker's club. Napier back out there, the kick out to Calhoun. Drills it. Didn't take him long to hit that comfort level.
Not at all. We made the first one, and I think that gives you the confidence. The next one goes down easier, and I think Calhoun's a kid that's just got all kinds of upside for UConn. You look at his background, he knows how to fill it up.
It's now a double-digit lead. Blue in trouble, but he finds O'Day. O'Day can't hit. O'Day trying hard, but he gets blocked again. Vokel from the corner. Another miss. Now Napier looking to run. Boatwright drives. That is deep.
Right on it.
Not bashful, the kid from Brooklyn.
Thought he had it, too. That one was right on track. I like this 3-guard lineup with Napier, Boatwright, and Calhoun. Very tough to defend.
Defy gets called for the contact along the baseline. His second.
UConn foul number 5, Defy. His second. 8 minutes.
So Roquel checks out. Cannon Rusin back in as the Catamounts are in the bonus. 5:36 left to play in the half. Daniels in for Defy.
Shooting 1 and 1 for 14, Josh Elbaum.
Elbaum hits them both to make it an 8-point game.
Now Vermont hanging around in this first half. They need to get stops. They've been in this very sagging kind of man-to-man defense, trying to force Connecticut to shoot from the outside.
Daniels can't hit the fadeaway. Napier can't come up with the steal. Elbaum pushing it. Blue from the corner. Napier the rebound. All the way over to Boatwright. Boatwright the pull-up. Olander with the offensive rebound and a new 35 for Napier and the Huskies. Under 5 to play now in the half.
Napier really not looking for his offense in this first half. Hasn't scored. He had 25 in that first one. Look for him to open up a little bit before this half is over.
Calhoun in the paint. Shows off the mid-range game.
Well, he's 6'5", so he can fill it up from the outside, and he's athletic enough to go into the paint and go over some people.
Rusin decides against the 3, kicks it out to Elbaum. Elbaum forces the issue, gets it to Apfel. He can't hit the wild shot, so now Napier.
One and you're done right now for Vermont.
Boatwright the long 3, no whistle. Calhoun keeps it alive to Daniels. Huskies on a 12-4 run right now with under 4 to play in regulation. Eight to shoot. Napier pulls up. Doesn't get it to roll, but another offensive rebound by Olander. His 6th rebound, and there's a whistle against Vermont. So O'Day and Vermont on the road, down by 10. Huskies in control. We'll be back after this. There is some green in the gym tonight as the Vermont faithful have made the trip, and the Catamounts trying to stick around here late in the first half to make things interesting in the second half. And as we mentioned, Coach Becker, a native of Connecticut, grew up in Fairfield, grew up a big Connecticut fan along with his parents and his whole family. His father, John, watching tonight, so we want to send out our best wishes to him. He's feeling better. He's hoping to make the trip, but he's watching on TV.
Absolutely, proudly watching his son on the bench. And John was saying before the game that he was glad his dad would be watching the ball game and family would be here. And he said it was kind of mixed emotions as he grew up watching the UConn Huskies. Look at Vermont, what they did a year ago with the, league championship, the NCAA tournament, a win in the first round, and what an opener for John Becker at the helm. He's paid his dues and now getting that opportunity.
They won that America East title over Stony Brook, which of course is coached by the Connecticut grad Steve Pikel. So now here out of the timeout, looking for a stop. Daniels in the corner. 15 on the clock, he pulls up. And Apfel gets the rebound. What do you think Vermont's looking here on the offensive end in the final 3 minutes of the half?
Well, they've been trying to force it inside. They're having a tough time. I like that kick-out pass. They just haven't been able to knock shots down, and they're not getting second opportunities.
Boat right over to Napier. Open. Can't hit. Calhoun go to the line.
Yeah, when you're playing that kind of underdog role where you're undermanned, and Vermont's been very patient. They're getting some good looks when they penetrate. They've just had a very tough time making some of the perimeter shots here in the first half.
So Calhoun adds to his game-high total, leading scorer with 9. Now with an opportunity to hit double figures his first home game. And he'll have to wait for that, but Olander, another rebound. His 5th of the ball game. Non-shooting. So Calhoun will inbound. Boatwright, the quick release. Houston there for the rebound.
Olander has really worked hard on the offensive boards for Connecticut.
Griswold regains his footing.
And Napier's tough. He just can't put the ball on the floor around him. He's got such quick hands.
Rugg backs in on Daniels. The fadeaway. Comes up with it. Goes up strong and draws the whistle, so he'll go to the line.
Now you can see the undersized front court for Vermont, but Rugg just stayed with that one. Great second effort to get to the line. And that's what Vermont needs. They need to get some action inside. Connecticut has to respect that, and then you kick it out, and you've got to hit some of those perimeter shots.
Rugg, a former walk-on, really came on last year in conference play. Averaging over 7 points a game.
Right from Burlington. You love it when a kid, you know, goes out for the team, walk on, they end up as a scholarship player. Right from the Burlington, Vermont area where the school is located. Great effort by Rugg, and makes a couple of free throws. I think if Vermont can keep this game to single digits going in at halftime on the road, I think John Becker would be pleased with that. Vermont way down in their first game, down by 16 in the first half against Siena, and came back.
Napier can't hit. So under 2 to play. Can't handle the pass. Gafai comes up with it. Olander gets fouled by Apfel, so he'll go to the line. Vermont 7 turnovers. That's doing them in on the offensive end, but you got to credit Connecticut defense as well.
Really great effort in this first half by the big man Olander. He gets the roll, the boot. He deserves it the way he's worked on those offensive boards.
That's right, the home court advantage.
You think of the Big East this year, and this, it's kind of a guard-oriented UConn team. Olander, Daniels, and they're going to really need a team effort on the boards when they go in against some, you know, some of those big front lines. Philip Nolan, another guy that will do a good job for UConn. He's 6'9", but just weighs 210 pounds. Good job by Olander there.
Coming up at the half, we'll take a look ahead at some of the upcoming conference games and the tournaments the Big East teams are involved in, and we'll also take a look back at Kevin Ollie's career as a player and as a coach. Nice backdoor cut, Vokel to Rugg, and we'll hear from the new head coach of the Connecticut Huskies as well. So Boatwright looks over to his new coach to get his instructions.
I think what he was saying was run it, go after it. Let's run our patterns, and it's been more the tempo that Vermont would work. Oh, nice look inside.
Vokel gets called for the foul. So Calhoun will go back to the line. I don't think after the game we saw in Germany, either one of us was expected to see Shabazz Napier scoreless in the first half, but he's doing a little bit of some of the other things.
He is. He's had a good floor game in this first half. Hasn't forced anything, but the game hasn't really opened up either. He's played good defense. He's been on Carissimo very tightly. So he's played well, but he does need to, I think, look for his shot a bit more out of the offensive set.
So Calhoun has 11 after being held to 1 in his debut against the Spartans.
He's a major talent. He had 24 in the 2 exhibition games against AIC and UMass Lowell, so he's a kid that can fill it up. He was 20 plus in both of those games.
Blue, the long 2. Rattles in and out. Olander another rebound. Vermont now shooting 5 of 25 here on the road. A nice cut by Calhoun, gets blocked. So there's about a 3-second differential here on the shot clock and the game clock for Carissimo and the Catamounts. Trying to cut it down to single digits.
Really,
deficit down.
Really no easy baskets for Vermont in this whole half. No, kind of out there and get a layup. UConn's really contested everything they've thrown up there in this first half.
Good fake by Carissimo, but he loses control of it. Finds Rugg, who throws it down.
See, that was the highlight play right there for Vermont.
It still wasn't easy, but that was indeed the highlight reel slam. Good if it goes, but it's short. So Vermont gets a little bit of life heading into the locker room, courtesy of the Rugg slam dunk. Vermont also staying in it, doing some work at the line, 10 of 12 from the charity stripe, but still down by 9. So they weren't as sharp as they were in Germany, but they're still up by 9 in the first home game at Gamble for Kevin Ollie. We're back with halftime from Scores after this. So Vermont goes to work first with the ball. This is Carissimo. Now Rusin off the cut, open, and he knocks it down. A long 2.
That's really what Vermont was missing in the first half. If they can get some shots like that to go down and be patient, they've got themselves right now in a 7-point ball game, and they want to have this play out in the half-court set. For Connecticut, I look for them to increase some pressure in the second half, see if they can get out and run to take advantage of their speed.
Kell rips it away from Calhoun. Now here's O'Day.
I always feel the beginning of the second half can be a real momentum grab. So you want to come out of the locker room ready to go. It's going to take you, into that second half, and it's the 20-minute ball game right now. All right, nice strip.
O'Day, freshman from right here, Mansfield, Connecticut. Now Rusin gets stripped by Napier. Wasn't back over the line though, so it'll stay Catamount ball.
Yeah, Connecticut comes out and they just seem flat coming out of the locker room right now. That was a casual pass down low. Didn't have a good angle. You really want that wing angle, if not corner, to get it inside.
And that whistle goes against O'Day. It was interesting, this was a game that Coach Becker used to recruit Ethan O'Day. He said, by the way, if you come here, you'll get to play at Gamble. So that kind of sold him, among other things, on Vermont basketball.
Tough opening stretch for Vermont. They play at Siena, at Connecticut, go home, and then they go to Northeastern.
And Napier draws some contact. He'll go to the line. So that call goes against O'Day. So that's 2 quick ones here in the half to give him 4 fouls.
Team foul number 2, number 13, Shabazz Napier, shooting 2.
This could get Napier on the board, and that could get him going in this second half. He can put points up in a hurry. He's also content to dish the basketball and play good defense. But after that 25-point outburst to start things off, you'd expect to see more offense out of Napier here in this second half.
Rugg in for O'Day. Napier hits them both. Connecticut up by 9. Boatwright picking up in the backcourt, all over Carissimo. Now Apfel loses it. Off Daniels. 23 to shoot for Vermont.
What Vermont did well in the first half, when they go inside with it, that's early in the set, is kick the ball back out. If they try to force it in there, Connecticut bigger and quicker.
Carissimo can't get it to Rugg. Another Vermont turnover. Napier with the spin. Gets it to Olander. Wide open Boatwright. Back over to Olander. And one.
Pretty nice set by Connecticut that time. I thought they passed up like that. A couple of good shots. But when you come up with a high percentage look like that after your work clock, Rugg with the body, and Olander, who's really played hard in the paint for Connecticut here tonight, hitting the backboards and also with the nice finish.
He now has 5 points to go along with his 6 rebounds. Quick whistle there on Boatwright. He now has 2. Boatwright kind of had an up and down year last year just based on, whether he was going to be in the lineup or not. Had to deal with some of those eligibility issues. You never really knew his status.
Yeah, that's right. He didn't get the rhythm that he'll get this year. Right out of the gates, he's out there. Nice drive.
Carissimo. The bucket.
You can see what Carissimo in the America East will really give some teams fits. He's very good with the basketball. And he's really he will not be tested more than he is tonight with Napier and Boatwright. Extreme quickness all over him during this ball game.
Napier left open. Carissimo goes out on him. Loses control. Gets it to Olander. Now Daniels. That's short. Strong rebound by Vokel. Vermont looking to get it down to single digits again.
Vermont has been executing their plan. They shot, 25% in the first half. Yet they're still hanging around because they've been keeping the game to more of a half-court set.
Now 12 to shoot. Rugg gets in the paint. Offensive foul. So that's 3 now on Rugg.
Third personal foul, fourth team foul.
So Rugg will take a seat. Brendan Kilpatrick, the freshman out of Malvern Prep in Philly, checks in. Daniels gets a rest for Connecticut. Is Gaffai back out there?
Kind of a quick stint for Daniels, but Ollie talking to him as he came off the court, giving him a couple of pointers before he goes back out there. I just didn't think he had a good angle on the last shot that he took along the baseline.
Napier on the cut. Good defense collapsing on him. He takes the baseline J in and out. Kilpatrick comes up with the rebound. Napier, 25 in that game over in Germany against Michigan State. Just 2 free throws here tonight. Team, though, up by 10 as he's doing a lot of the other things. And poking it away from Rusin. Over to Kilpatrick. Vokel kicks it to Apfel at the free throw line, and he knocks it down.
Apfel, another athletic kid for Vermont, 6'7", 215. He had 16 in the opening win against Siena, 4 rebounds.
Napier there, hits off the window.
That's exactly what you want to do too on a night where the shot's not really dropping from the outside. Not that he's taken that many. Get it to the goal, see if you can get one to drop in. A couple of free throws, and that can get your offense on track.
Kilpatrick can't get it to Apfel. Another Vermont turnover. So Olander and the Huskies up by 10. Connecticut closing in on win number 2 on the season. Head coach at Gamble Pavilion. His Huskies up by 10. Time now to take a look at our Big East leaders, brought to you by PNC Bank for the Achiever in you. And we take a look at some of the all-time assist men here at Connecticut. Talik Brown leading the way, but a couple of members of the coaching staff there know how to find the open man.
That's right, Kevin Ollie, Carl Hobbs, right next to each other, and they're hoping their backcourt right now will dish that basketball and lead to some easy baskets. former George Washington head coach Carl Hobbs. Tell you what, for the backcourt people, Napier drilling that one. See the layup, couple of free throws, now the jumper. These guards couldn't have a better coaching staff in terms of Ollie and Hobbs. They've been there, done that, giving the instruction. Glenn Miller as well. George Blaney, all of them.
Here's Blue over to Elbaum. Blue drives. Now Kilpatrick looking for Vokel. Under 10 to shoot. Vokel rejected by Calhoun. 5 on the shot clock.
Connecticut always seems to be among the nation's leaders in block shots, if not the leader. It's usually the guy that comes in too after the defensive player has stopped the offensive player with the block.
And Olander gets in the way of that one for another denial. So Napier playing with a little bit more pep in his step. And why not the finger roll?
Well, we thought it was just a matter of time before Shabazz Napier turned it on offensively. And now, beautiful penetrating move followed by that jumper that he took. Look at the crossover move. Oh, that was sweet. Came down on his hip right there.
We'll see if he's okay to go. He all of a sudden has 8 points here in the second half. Huskies up by 14. They're the only 2 schools in New England with at least 8 20-win seasons over the last 10 years, and right now Connecticut in control over Vermont, leading by 14 points. This is Trey Blue bringing it up with Evans guarding the ball.
Yeah, but Vermont with this tempo, this half-court tempo, has not allowed UConn to get out and run and put, big spurts up on the board where they have that 8 to 10 point run. But it has been tough for Vermont to get clean looks in this game.
Once again, on cue, Olander able to recover on the ball fake. Last touch by Vermont.
Yeah, you really can't hesitate if you're Vermont when you have that opening. You're going to go right at it. Once you put too many fakes on, Connecticut with their quickness just recovers, then they're able to get a hand on the ball. R.J. Evans, who had a good solid stint in the first half out there in the backcourt for Connecticut right now.
Olander getting back to his left and scoring.
That's a heck of a move right there by Olander. Really gathered himself, took that extra step, and just got the nice, easy layup.
He now has 9. Rooston looking to answer short. And Olander with another rebound. Long outlet to Calhoun, up to Gaffey. The rim gets in the way. So that slows down the Huskies, who are now on an 8-0 run. Carissimo will try the 3. Vokel the rebound. He'll go to the line. So the season started in Germany. They come home for a quick one here, and now not too bad. Germany and the Virgin Islands. Nice travel plan for some young college kids.
Yeah, and I think that trip to Germany, that's the kind of trip early where, you're there for a couple of days, you have a big win, guys come together, so that's really positive. And then to be able to go to the Virgin Islands. So it's going to be some tough travel. At the same time, you really find out if you're Kevin Ollie, what you've got, how guys are responding to the competition, and so far so good for the Huskies.
First game at the Paradise Jam at the Virgin Islands will be against Wake Forest. So Vokel hits the second.
Interesting in that first win, Connecticut went with 8 players, going a little bit deeper in this game, but again, I think you're going to see that 8-man nucleus. You'll go to a 9th, maybe with Philip Nolan inside. R.J. Reynolds in the rotation.
Napier doesn't drill the three, but Evans gets another possession for Olander and the Huskies. Vokel runs that one down. Neither team sharp from behind the arc. Combining to shoot 3 of 20 from 3. Houston in trouble and he loses it. Up ahead to Evans. He goes in for the layup and the foul.
There hasn't been a lot of fast break baskets, but when you can turn them over, as Connecticut does right there, the reach. And if you're Carissimo there, either make the foul or don't foul. So he kind of does that touch. Gives R.J. Evans a chance for the three-point play. Olander comes out. He's really played hard for Connecticut tonight.
Connecticut very active on the defensive end, and it's been that way right from the opening tip, creating 11 turnovers. Evans now has 7. He had 6 in his Connecticut debut against Michigan State. Missed all of his junior year up at Worcester with the Crusaders, so he has an extra year of eligibility. Graduate student, taking it here at Connecticut, his home state. Actually played against Connecticut last year down the road at the XL Center in Hartford. Had 15 in a loss.
He had a nice career. Over 1,000 points, 1,200 at Holy Cross. And physically, I think he can match up in Big East plays. A strong kid, 210-pounder, and it's 6'3", so I think athletically he'll mix it up and do a good job for the Huskies.
Huskies in control here at home. Coach Becker running out of time against Connecticut. Down by as many as 16 against Siena, but that was a much earlier deficit. Now here on the road against Connecticut, down by 18. Coach Becker's club won the America East last year, and they are the favorites to do it again this year.
No, that's right. They've been the go-to team. They've been getting 20-win seasons with regularity. Went to the tournament last year. We mentioned and won that first-round game against Lamar. So, you know, Stony Brook, BU, Albany will be right on their tail. But John Becker with high hopes for his team this year. They played very well, I think, as a team here tonight. Haven't been able to really make the kind of shots that they would need to, but had, as you can see by the graphic, great success last year, which they hope to build on with 24 victories on the season.
We detailed the transfers from the Connecticut program. Vermont surprisingly also suffering some transfers. For McGlynn, the big one, he left to Towson last year. He led the leading scorer with 12, and Brendan Bald transferred as well, but they were able to regroup and bring in some new players. Vokel, Mr. Steady, making his 70th career start. He has started every game since making the trip up to Vermont.
He really is solid. You know, he plays good defense, rebounds. Vermont in the zone right now. They're trying to, you know, not pick up a lot of fouls. Just force Connecticut to shoot from the perimeter and hope that they can have good inside position to rebound.
Enish Wolf out there setting the screen right there for Boatwright, who takes the 3 and knocks it down.
That's the way you deal with the zone. You shoot right over it. Boatwright now with 5.
Rugg, he'll try to answer with a 3. Oh, Evans goes up for a strong rebound. Tolksdorf can't handle the pass from Wolf. So just because they're from Germany, maybe they're still not exactly on the same page, though, because Tolksdorf wasn't ready for that one.
He wasn't ready for that one. That was a couple of bullet passes, weren't they? You just got to have your hands ready at all times. Those are some pretty quick passes. Oh, especially when you come right off the bench. Just have the hands ready, get a couple of touches.
Under 11 to play here. Boatwright pestering Carissimo. Vokel gets in the paint. Traveling on that film. So Kilpatrick back out on the floor after another Vermont turnover. John Becker letting James Breeding hear it a little. He didn't like that call.
No. He thought that was a pretty good up fake. I think there's some hesitation, though. When you hesitate, you can drag the pivot foot.
Calhoun. Foul in the paint against Connecticut. As Calhoun can't add to his career high. Whistle goes against Wolf.
Kevin Ollie able to give minutes here with Wolf getting a look. Poke score, you know, just giving some minutes. It's important. These guys are working hard in practice. Now you get to see what they can do with the bright lights on in the game. So an opportunity to work some substitutions. Up 19 right now.
Apfel will go to the line. Wolf gets called for contact. Got him on the hand. Apfel hits. He's now started 17 of the last 18 games, and he really started to come on last year. 8 rebounds against North Carolina in the NCAA tournament. Missing more than 2 seasons at the start of his career with 3 ACL surgeries. It's now a 17-point Connecticut lead.
Still a lot of time in this game. So if you're UConn, you've got to continue to just say, hey, forget about the score. Let's work hard. Let's execute, make shots, play good defense, because you're building on things as you go through the season, game by game.
Nice look from Napier to Calhoun, and the freshman will go back to the line.
Good idea if you're out there with Napier to move well without the ball. He's an excellent passer and penetrator, as is Boatwright. Open up some good opportunities for Calhoun and Daniels and company.
And there you take a look at the high school resume. Number 7 shooting guard in his class. The ESPN 100 list. Christ the King High School in Queens. Now Kilpatrick, another freshman, loses it. Numbers for Boatwright and the Huskies. Back to Daniels.
That was pretty. Oh, you could see it coming. I like the behind the back with the left by Boatwright. Had a little flair to that one.
Carissimo pulls up and he answers. I had to take a glance over to the old coach Jim Calhoun to see what he thought of the little highlight reel dish. Always when it works, everyone smiles, right?
Little smile.
Little smile when it works.
Always good when it works. Carissimo with that nice jumper coming back. Careful to stop and pop like that. He'll be effective as the year goes along if he looks to that offensive shot.
And here's Napier pulling up off bounds, way off. Kilpatrick with the rebound.
Ball might have even been partially deflected. That was off by a lot.
Carissimo loses control. Eugene Sterator says touched by Connecticut. So Ryan Boatwright is tied a career high with 7 assists, and this one will be on his highlight reel.
Oh, beautiful drop back pass. That's the trailer on the fast break. You want to call that out, let the man in front of you know that. He had him in his sights all the way, though. Oh, nice shot again by Carissimo with some touch.
So now Boatwright, no rush to bring it up.
Boatwright with 13 in that opener against Michigan State. 4 rebounds, 4 assists. He had a nice kind of stat line. He's got a good floor game going here tonight as well.
Napier goes to his left. O'Day gets in his way. The blue underneath him gets called for the block.
First personal foul. 7-13. shooting 2.
Napier from Boston, Roxbury, Mass. Charlestown High School. I tell you what, he has really, blossomed into a very good guard here. And I think what they'll look for from him is leadership, consistency this year, because he has a chance to really help lead this team. And you can tell he is the guy they are looking to in the early part of this season. They will continue to do so.
And I was wondering if that was sort of part of his MO back in the first half, when you look like when he wasn't looking for a shot as much as he was against Michigan State, maybe trying to get other people involved and get the whole team going, as he can't hit the second.
Yeah, I think
the rebound.
I think he'll do that. I mean, I think if the shot's there, he'll take it. They will need offense from him, but I think, I think he's a guy that likes to do a little bit of everything. So he certainly didn't force it in that first half. He didn't really have too many looks. Tell you what, he is a nightmare.
He is on the ball,
right?
Absolutely. And he gets called for foul there. James Breeding says too much of a nightmare. Huskies up by 17 when we return to Stores. Big news out of the Big East Conference. We'll have that when we come back. Back to Big East basketball, presented by PNC, as we get you caught up to date on some of the news in the Big East Conference. Madison Square Garden remains the home of the Big East tournament, of course, and it'll also be the home of the East Regional in 2014. And today, Commissioner Mike Oresco announcing the East-West football division starting next season, and there will be a championship game. So you take a look at the new look of Big East football. The East Division is some of the traditional teams, with Central Florida thrown in there. And then the West, the new teams that are coming into the conference, along with Temple. I wouldn't mind having Steve Adazio's frequent flyer miles as the Owls play SMU, San Diego State, Memphis, Houston, and Boise State. You see there Rutgers and Cincinnati in the East, and that is the big game this weekend in the Big East Conference. High noon kickoff from Nippert Stadium on the Big East Network Game of the Week. So an exciting future ahead for Big East football.
Yes, some new faces combined with the traditional teams that you're used to seeing. And there will be some travel in that Western Division. And Boise State with that, they've really been on a great roll when you think of the last several years, the way they've been playing. A terrific addition to the league. That blue turf they play on.
Blue turf, that's right. They certainly play exciting football. And then South Florida and Central Florida will be a tremendous rivalry down there in the Orlando-Tampa area. There's Carissimo trying to stay hot, but O'Day in the right spot at the right time.
Just keep moving in there. Want the basketball on the offensive boards, and O'Day just had his hands ready. That one came right at him.
O'Day goes for the steal. Olander makes him pay, finding Evans on the cut.
I didn't know if that one was going to make it through traffic.
Again, O'Day and Olander, high school teammates for a year down the road at Smith High School in Mansfield. This has to be an interesting experience here. Now Blue open for three. High arcer is good. Blue, a transfer from Illinois State after starting his college career at Fordham.
He can provide some offense off the bench this year for the Catamounts as they continue to kind of hang around. It's a 13-point game. They've kept it as a half-court kind of set.
That was the kind of hoop we saw in the highlights from Michigan, from the Michigan State game. The spin off the glass. Here's Vokel. He picks up his dribble, gets it to Blue. 10 to shoot. Carissimo. Loses his footing. Keeps the dribble going. Vokel over to Ruggs, not in time. Shot clock violation.
Good defense by the Huskies that time. Vermont kept trying to find the opening, and it just didn't get there for John Becker's club on that one. Good defense by Connecticut.
Defense that has caused 14 turnovers here tonight. They are up by 15. Olander, the pull-up. Here's Blue looking to push.
Vermont's done a pretty good job off the defensive boards in this game. They just haven't been able to get a lot of second chances. They're undersized in the paint here tonight.
Okel powers his way to the hoop. He is a bull.
He is strong. He was determined that time. You could tell I'm lowering my shoulder and I'm taking it to the goal. Here I come.
He now has 6. Evans drives. Strong as well. With a little touch at the end.
That's Evans' game. He loves to take it to the goal. He's going to get some foul shots when he does that, but he defends. He certainly has shown that he fits in nicely in the rotation with Connecticut.
Not the only hoopster in his family. His sister plays at Kentucky in the SEC. Last year she averaged 7 a game. As Rugg can't bring that pass in, and now Evans leading the break. Can't tip it over to Napier. .423 left in Kevin Ollie's home debut. Certainly his first game was a smashing success, knocking off Tom Izzo. How about that? You know, you get a roster that's so-called depleted with transfers and early departures, and you have to go up against Tom Izzo in Michigan State.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, welcome aboard indeed.
You're in Germany. I mean, you know, really nice W all the way around for Connecticut.
Luke Apfel knocks down the 3 to make it a 12-point ball game.
He looks comfortable on the sideline. He's up. He's very in control. I've watched him during the timeouts, quick huddle with the coaches going in there. So let's face it, he's been around all kinds of basketball, so looks like he's right into it.
I mean, that's the thing Jim Calhoun keeps pointing out as Napier draws the whistle. Everyone's talking about the time Kevin Ollie spent here, but Coach Calhoun points out, hey, he played for Larry Brown. He played for Chuck Daly. You pay attention to those timeouts. You know how to draw up a play.
Absolutely.
Many departures, but a new addition, R.J. Evans, and he's making a contribution here in his second game with the Huskies.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, I think the tournament, we went over that at halftime. All the Big East teams getting involved with tournaments early, and then you get to play some, back-to-back games. You really kind of find out what you've got, and I think Connecticut feeling pretty good right now to start this season off, and then each game becomes a building block from there.
So Napier now with 13, all in the second half. That game against North Carolina State will be at Madison Square Garden on the 4th, part of the Jimmy V Classic. For Vermont, a trip to Boston to take on Northeastern. There's some line there about Jim Calhoun being involved. The Jim Calhoun tour going against Connecticut and then Northeastern back-to-back.
There you go. Tough road game for Vermont to start the season, that's for sure.
Apfel can't hit the iron. Napier going the other way. Nice dribbling over to Boatwright.
Between the legs coming from reverse on that one in traffic. Got a string on the basketball.
Boatwright backs it up and attacks. Apfel knocks that pass away. So under 3 minutes to play now here at Gamble.
Tell you what, Carissimo's going to be tired after this game. He's worked hard, taking good care of the basketball under extreme pressure from both Boatwright and Napier here tonight.
Yes, they have not called off the dogs yet as far as guarding the ball.
They never do.
Rusin from well behind the arc can't hit. Rugg can't keep it alive. Another rebound for Olander. He has had a solid evening. Boatwright, Napier slow things up. Kevin Ollie barks out the play. Olander can't tip it in, but Defy does. So Defy with 4. So squares up, finds Rusin. Napier with the strip. Off Rusin's leg, so it'll be Connecticut ball. Take a look at these first 2 games. The way Connecticut has played for Kevin Ollie, what's impressed you the most?
I think they look confident. You know, I think the thing that impresses me is they look confident. They've done some things well. They've made some mistakes in this game, and it looks to me like, you know, early they're gelling a little bit better than I thought they would. Really like the guard play, but to me, it's they're playing with I think they're playing with a lot of energy and confidence right now.
That is 2 words to describe Ryan Boatwright's game right now. Plenty of attention being paid here in Connecticut to the fact that Kevin Ollie's basically working with a 1-year contract, make that, you know, almost a 7-month contract taken over for Jim Calhoun. Thought it was interesting, you know, some people say, well, after all the 10-day contracts he had in his 13-year NBA career, 7 months is, you know, stability.
Well, you get
security, excuse me.
You got it. You get the opportunity, and then you say, hey, he's been in a position where he says, I've got to prove myself. I've got to get the job done to stay here. So I think he's saying, hey, I'm going to let it rip, and seems to have a very good command early about the rotations he wants to use, and seen him the way he's handling. He looks very comfortable over on the sideline. Done a pretty good job to stay in the coach's box. Coach Calhoun was challenged by that at times.
That's a polite way to put that. Challenged by that at times.
I don't know how if I was to get into these games at that level, how you can really kind of stay in a confined area. Would have been all over the place.
Napier looking to split the defense. Instead, he dribbles out of trouble. We are now under 40 seconds to play.
This, I think, where Connecticut can be very tough as well, where they have got a lead, they spread you out with these backcourt guys. They're going to be tough.
Nice crossover, but Vokel knocks the pass away as Boatwright was looking for Olander. 5 on the shot clock. Here's Boatwright. Pulls up. Can't hit. Rugg goes up high for the rebound. So the shot clock is off as Carissimo attacks. He pulls up quickly. Short. Now Apfel takes the 3. That's strong. So Carissimo with another opportunity here for Vermont. Rusin's going to try a triple. In and out. Kind of the way the night has gone for Vermont behind the arc. So Napier will run it out. So that will do it for the first game as head coach of the Connecticut Huskies at Gampel Pavilion for Kevin Ollie. He improves to 2-0 as head coach at Connecticut. Napier came alive in the second half with 13. R.J. Evans also had double figures with 11. The freshman Omar Calhoun had a strong outing. He finishes with 12. But it was the defense that really dictated things here tonight for Connecticut. Vermont suffers its first loss of the season. The Catamounts now get ready for another road game up in Boston against Northeastern. Connecticut will head to St. Thomas to take on Wake Forest. So after being held to 1 against Michigan State, Calhoun comes up with double digits. Tyler Olander had an impressive game as well with 9 points. And Napier was a distributor in the first half, a facilitator, and then he came alive and looked for his own shot in the second half. But all eyes on Kevin Ollie here tonight as he took the court for the first time at his alma mater as the head coach, and he wins it by 18, and he is standing by with our own Ron Perry.
All right, Kevin, you got one on the road now with Michigan State. You had to go a long way to go to Germany for that one, and then here at home tonight. It's got to feel good to get a couple of wins under the team's belt.
Yeah, it feels good, and we've been stressing, you know, all the 2 days we had to prepare for them, how we're going to play with prosperity. Because everybody can play with their backs against the wall, and we came in and played great against Michigan State, but can we bag that up? And I think we did that tonight. We was a little sluggish at the start, but we came in the second half, the last 10 minutes, and showed UConn pride.
Looks like you're going to really have strong contributions in the backcourt with Napier and Boatwright, and I thought Calhoun looked like he had some good minutes out there as well. So a lot of strength in the backcourt this year.
Yeah, that's our game. That's our game. Our backcourt is dynamic. You mentioned Boatwright, you mentioned Shabazz. Omar had that DNA bounce back because he had a tough game over in Michigan State, over in Germany. But he came back. He was alive. He got in the flow early. He hit a couple shots. He took a couple bad ones. I got to get on him when we get in the locker room. But I like his confidence. He's a great person on and off the basketball court. And our guys just got to stick together.
The defensively is always a trademark for Connecticut. And again, I thought in a game like this, the guys really stayed with it. They really, I don't remember a shot that wasn't contested out there tonight.
Yeah, that's our pride. In Vermont, they're well coached. They stay in their sets, they run them flex screens, and they run it. And they're very efficient on the offensive end, and we just had to stay with it. And I think it's the first half we played for 30 seconds, and then we gave up the 5 seconds or we fouled. But I think the second half we stayed throughout our possessions, and we came up with a great gutty win.
Well, way to get a couple of wins, and you're going to go on the road now to the Virgin Islands. Best of luck there, and you're off to a great start. Way to go, Kevin.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right. Thank you very much. Back to you, Eamon.
All right, Ron, and there you heard a little of the sugar and hot sauce that the Husky faithful have already become familiar with from Kevin Ollie as the head coach, and he talked a little bit about what's ahead. Wake Forest down at the Paradise Jam, and then they'll, depending on what happens in the first round, take on either Iona or Quinnipiac, and then Stony Brook, New Hampshire, and NC State at Madison Square Garden, part of the Jimmy V Classic at the Garden. Tip-off for that game at 9 p.m. So take a look at the stats, and really it was the defense for Connecticut. 16 turnovers by Vermont. The Catamounts just 3 of 18 from behind the arc, and Connecticut holds Vermont to 30% from the field. So Connecticut had this one in control right from the beginning, and once again our final score, Connecticut improves to 2-0 on the season with an 18-point victory, 67-49. They now get set for Wake Forest. Vermont gets ready for Northeastern. The preceding has been an exclusive presentation of ESPN Regional Television, the worldwide leader in collegiate sports. For Ron Perry and our entire Big East Network crew, I'm Eamon McEnany. They looked impressive in Germany. Here at home, Kevin Ollie improves to 2-0 as we say goodnight from Stores.